afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. Thank you for joining us here in the wonderful state Sultanate of Oman, specifically in Muscat. And I think at the outset, on behalf of everyone, I want to reiterate our appreciation for our host, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Hamad Al Ramhi, for the fantastic setting and excellent organizations and hospitality. We did conduct our seventh joint ministerial monitoring committee meeting today, which just concluded, of course, preceded yesterday by the joint technical committee representing select members of both the OPEC and participating non-OPEC country. As you probably already know, the committee noted with satisfaction the many successes achieved since the start of the Declaration of Cooperation, but it was capped by a fantastic performance in December, which builds on an improving trend from January 2017 till today. In December, specifically, the overall conformity level for participating OPEC and non-OPEC member countries was 129%. That means that the production withdrawn from the market was 29% more than committed by the 24 countries. This is the highest level since the beginning of the Declaration of Cooperation, with an average through 2017 of 107%. So 129% was December, 107 is the average January through December. This is clearly a testimony of how committed the group is collectively. This, of course, is reflected in global fundamentals. You see it, for example, in the overhang in the market, which declined from 330 million barrels of OECD excessive reserves, declined by about two-thirds, with a third remaining still to be cleared in 2018. We, as major producers, have proven continuously, but more so recently, our solidarity despite the doubts and those who are questioning the capability of 24 diverse countries to work together. The monitoring committee that I am chairing for co-chairing with His Excellency Novak for the first time this month has been a central player, and today I'm pleased to say that we did our work to enforce conformity. In addition to thanking and appreciating those who met or exceeded their commitments, we also noted a couple of outliers who did not do as well as the rest of the group, and we communicated with them in the meeting by having teleconferences with the two countries that did not meet their commitments. I am pleased to say that those countries have acknowledged the challenges they faced, and they have committed to work with us in 2018 and to bring their conformance back into line. As far as the current market condition and going forward, we realize we are going into a soft period. First and second quarter are usually maintenance and low demand for the downstream. So we're uncertain that the pace of inventory drawdown, which I just referred to, will continue at the same pace in the months to come. So the Joint Technical Committee will be monitoring the situation closely on a month-to-month basis, and the JMMC will provide the necessary oversight. We agreed that our next meeting will be in April, and it will be in Saudi Arabia. We have offered to host it, and my colleagues have kindly accepted our invitation. I can tell you, as the Minister of Energy of Saudi Arabia, that we are more committed than ever to continuing not only our individual role and meeting our commitment, but exerting our leadership role as the largest producer within OPEC and one of the largest in the world, the largest exporter of oil. That role and that contribution will continue throughout 2018. It is my personal firm belief that the rebalancing will be happening towards the end of 2018 or in 2019, and we have seen data from IEA and EIA indicating that the rebalancing will slow down. So OPEC, of course, has its own set of numbers, but the committees, JTC, JMMC, will monitor and take action as necessary. So this concludes my opening remark, and I will offer His Excellency Minister Novak if he wants to make any quick opening remarks, and then we will turn it over to you, not just to ask the two of us, but of course I'm joined by all of the members of the JMMC, and they're here to take your questions after the remarks of Minister Novak.
Спасибо большое, господин министр, уважаемый председатель JMMC, господин Фалих, уважаемые дамы и господа, представители средств массовой информации, позвольте также несколько слов добавить к тому, что было сказано.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So, Your Excellency, Chairman of JMMC Al-Faleh, ladies and gentlemen, media, please allow me to say a few words in addition to what has already been said.
В первую очередь, я хотел бы поблагодарить еще раз и присоединиться к словам благодарности моих коллег, министра Руими, нашего коллегу, министра энергетики из Омана и весь народ Омана за гостеприимство, которое они нам оказывают здесь, где проводится 7-е заседание JMMC.
Well, first of all, I would like to join my colleagues in saying a sincere thank you to the Sultanate of Oman and personally to His Excellency and my colleague, Mr. Larumi, for the hospitality and for the excellent welcome we have received here in this country.
Сегодня только что состоялось 7-е заседание министерской встречи, и основная цель, конечно, это было подвести итоги за период, прошедший 2017 года действия соглашения, и оценить текущую ситуацию.
We have just concluded the 7th meeting of the Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee here in Oman, and of course the key goal of this meeting was to analyze the results of 2017 and set some goals for ourselves for the next year, 2018.
Хотел бы отметить, что сегодня всеми членами JMMC, министрами, была отмечена позитивная роль, которую сыграло соглашение по улучшению ситуации на нефтяном рынке.
I would like to note that we have full consensus here in the JMMC in regard to the role of the Declaration of Cooperation on the markets. It has been very positive.
Как уже было сказано, примерно на 2/3 сократились излишки запасов нефти на мировых рынках за период 2017 года.
As has been said before, as the results of the joint actions, the overhang of global commercial inventories in OECD countries has been cut by about 2/3.
В 2017 году средние цены нефти марки Brent были на 30% выше, чем в 2016 году. Это тоже результат движения вперед по балансировке рынка.
In 2017, the global oil prices have been about 1/3 higher than in 2016, and I believe that this is a healthy indication of the market seeing the positive impact of our actions.
Впервые в 2017 году мы отметили рост инвестиций в нефтяную отрасль, который составил 6%.
For the first time in many years, we have seen a pickup in investment in the oil and gas sector in 2017 by about 6%.
Мы также отметили, что в прошлом году был существенный рост спроса на нефть, он превысил первоначальные прогнозные показатели и составил чуть более 1,5 миллиона баррелей в сутки в среднем по году.
We have also noted a very healthy macroeconomic environment with demand growth in 2017 exceeding our initial forecasts. So as a result of 2017, demand grew by more than 1.5 million barrels.
Ну и, как уже было сказано, среднее исполнение соглашения в среднем по году составило странами и ОПЕК и не входящими в ОПЕК суммарно 107%.
And the overall conformity levels between OPEC and non-OPEC countries for the past 12 months, as has already been stated, is at 107%.
И это беспрецедентный показатель исторический. И это еще раз говорит о том, что все страны, ОПЕК и не ОПЕК, привержены к исполнению соглашения.
This is an unprecedented level, and I think that it clearly shows the level of commitment of all countries who are part of the declaration.
Основной вывод сегодняшней встречи: мы еще раз подтверждаем необходимость и приверженность продолжать следовать тем договоренностям, которые были достигнуты и 30 ноября прошлого года, 29-30 ноября, о продлении действия соглашения на весь период 2018 года.
I think that the key conclusion we can make from today's meeting is that all the countries present here and the other members have underscored the need for the agreement to continue as planned. We have also underscored our commitment to the extension of the agreement as per the meeting of the 30th of November until the end of 2018.
Как уже было сказано, текущая ситуация на рынке еще не до конца говорит о достижении тех целей по балансировке рынка, которые ставили перед собой. Поэтому мы будем продолжать совместную работу и будем продолжать достигать этих целей.
We can clearly see that despite the good results reached, we are still not at our goal of reaching a full rebalancing, which means that we will continue working together to reach the goal which we have set to ourselves.
Как известно, министерская встреча у нас назначена на конец июня месяца, и до этого мы еще встретимся в рамках GMMC, и будет проведено одно совместное заседание.
As you know, the ministerial meeting of OPEC and non-OPEC countries is set for June 2018, and before that, we're going to hold at least one other JMMC meeting, as my colleague has said, in April.
Спасибо большое за внимание.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We have a few minutes to take your questions. Unfortunately, we're running behind. Many of their excellencies have flights to catch, so we will keep it short, but we will take questions. Oh, okay. You will conduct the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Fine.
Can you please name your company before you raise your question? Thank you.
Большов Алексей, агентство ТАСС. Хотел бы для начала поздравить участников с хорошими показателями по итогам 2017 года. И хотел бы узнать, ожидаете ли вы в дальнейшем такой высокий уровень исполнения соглашения, а также ожидаете ли вы, что как-то изменится ситуация со странами, которые до этого не так хорошо выполняли условия, с Нигерией, Анголой и так далее, Казахстан. Спасибо.
Please allow me to translate the question. This is Alexei from the TASS agency. Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate everybody with the amazing results which have been reached during the year. And I have two questions. So the first one is, do you expect these high levels of conformity to carry on into 2018? And the second question, will the situation with those who have not been so successful in conforming and reaching full conformity with a number of countries, will it change in 2018? Леш, кому вопрос?
Вопрос обоим сопредседателям.
To the chairman, to your excellencies.
So, like I said, throughout 2017, every month we're seeing improvement, and there is no reason not to expect that trend to continue in 2018. The improvement is a result of two things. The overperforming countries continue to do better, and those underperforming countries are also, especially Iraq, has improved significantly. And like I said, we did have conference call with both Iraq and Kazakhstan in the meeting, and we heard very reassuring responses from them that they will improve their performance in 2018. So I am reasonably assured that with solidarity of the 24 countries, that 2018 will be even better than the 107% average that we saw in 2017. Your Excellency, any?
Я лишь могу присоединиться к тому, что сказал председатель GMMC, господин Аль-Фалих. И я с оптимизмом смотрю на будущее показатели исполнения соглашения, потому что динамика последних месяцев показывает, что мы движемся все более и более в лучшую сторону по исполнению соглашения. Напомню, что в декабре месяце процент исполнения составил 129% в целом между 24 странами. Поэтому уверены, исходя из того, что мы сегодня услышали от наших коллег и по телефону конференции с коллегами, и здесь министры, кто присутствовал в Омане, мы все будем достигать этих целей и продолжать руководствоваться позицией о необходимости в полном объеме исполнять соглашение. Спасибо.
Well, I can only join my colleague in agreeing with what he has said. I mean, I personally look with great optimism into the future of the agreement, and I think that the monthly dynamics speak for themselves. You can see a significant improvement over the past few months, and if we just look at December itself, I mean, we have conformity at 129%. It's a very big number. What we heard today at the JMMC after speaking with the ministers of some countries over the phone and just with speaking with the participants, I believe that we have reasonable confidence that metrics would further be improving as we go into 2018. And just to sum up, I believe that we should all once again govern our actions by assuming that we have to be at full conformity or above, and I believe that all countries would be doing so.
مسلم المهري من وكالة الأنباء العمانية. طبعا عندي سؤالين. بالنسبة للسؤال الأول، قامت دول أعضاء منظمة أوبك ودول المنطقة بتخفيض ما مقداره 1,800,000 برميل يوميا من النفط، علما بأن هذا الاتفاق سينتهي نهاية عام 2018. ما هي الآلية الجديدة التي ستعمل خلال العام 2019؟ السؤال الثاني، أيضا نرى خلال عام 2018 تسليم أسعار النفط يفوق $60. ما هو سر ذلك؟ وشكرا.
شكرا جزيلا. طبعا الاتفاق اللي تم في 2016 ودخلت فيه 24 دولة أثبت نجاح منقطع، يعني نظير ما له سابقة من ناحية عدد الدول ومن ناحية نسبة الالتزام. وزي ما تكلمنا في ديسمبر كانت الالتزام 129%، يعني تقريبا الثلث من 1,800,000 برميل إضافية خفضت من الإنتاج. فهذا النجاح يعني أنا متأكد أنه في الوقت المناسب كافة الدول اللي شاركت فيه وبدأت تستفيد من المكاسب اللي تمت منه راح تكون فيه قبول واستعداد للاستمرار بالتعاون ما بعد 2018. الآلية بالذات لم نحددها، ولكن فيه توافق إلى حد كبير بين يعني كافة الدول إنه الاستمرار. نحن عارفين إنه أسواق البترول والاقتصاد العالمي متقلب، ويعني عندما يكون في فائض في الإنتاج أو ضعف في الطلب أو هزات اقتصادية عالمية يكون في تفاعل سريع لأسواق البترول والأسعار بالذات، وهذا يهز بالتالي اقتصادات الدول المنتجة بشكل كبير. وأصحاب المعالي الوزراء ممثلين الدول لا يرغبون أن تتعرض اقتصاداتهم لما رأيناه في آخر التسعينات وفي 2008 وفي 2014 من هزات قوية للأسعار. فإن شاء الله سيكون فيه باقي هذا العام عمل دؤوب مع كافة الدول، وحتى دعوة دول أخرى من خارج مجموعة 24 هذه للانضمام للآلية هذه اللي تقلل من تقلبات السوق وتحفظ مصالح الدول المنتجة والمستهلكة في وقت واحد. من ناحية الأسعار طبعا ارتفعت بشكل ملحوظ خلال الأسابيع الماضية، وجزء منها هو أساسيات السوق اللي تكلمنا عنها، انخفاض المخزون الفائض بنسبة 2/3، والجزء الآخر طبعا هو المضاربين في الأسواق كثيرين، يعني اللي داخلين في الأسواق البترولية، وفي عوامل جيوسياسية. يعني بعض الدول المنتجة الكبرى تعرضت إلى قلاقل وعدم ثقة في هذه الدول، وأنتم تعرفوا من هي، ما هي بعيدة عن عمان. فهذه طبعا أثرت على ثقة الأسواق في موثوقية الإنتاج من بعض المصادر. احنا ما نركز على الأسعار، احنا نركز على الأساسيات. الأساسيات ما زالت بحاجة إلى عمل. ثلث الفائض ما زال موجود. احنا دخلنا الآن في من ناحية موسمية في فترة يكون السوق فيها شوي ضعيف من ناحية الطلب، فنتوقع 2018 كله راح يكون ضروري لإعادة التوازن للسوق. شكرا.
إذا تسمح لي طال عمرك ترجم الجواب بس للصحة اللي قدرت أكتبه من I'm going to translate for His Excellency the Chairman. The first part of the question was related to the adverse effects of volatility on the economies of the producing nations, and His Excellency clearly mentioned that it's in our interest to avoid such volatility because of the very negative implications that this will have on the economies of both producing countries and on consuming countries. The second part of the question was related to oil prices. His Excellency clearly mentioned the effect of geopolitical tensions in the region, and specifically in this part of the world and in many other places which you are all very, very familiar with. A lot of geopolitical influences on oil prices have happened, and this has affected the markets, and it's not in our interest that we have unstable markets or volatility in the market. As for prices, for OPEC, we don't really focus or target a price. We focus on the market fundamentals. This is our objective, and as you all know, there's still, despite the depletion of nearly 2/3 of the global stock overhang, we still have 1/3 or so to go. So we will most likely need the remainder of this whole year to get to a rebalanced oil market.
Thank you, Aitham.
Yes, please, Wael from Bloomberg, please, when you raise your question, mention whom from their excellencies that you want to answer your question.
Greeting, Your Excellencies, and thank you all for hosting us here in Oman. Thank you, Mr. Rumhi. My question is, it was really surprising to hear today from you, Chairman, that you are looking also into 2019 for market rebalancing. You mentioned that soft demand in the first half is, part of the reasons why you are considering this view. But what about the supply picture? Is there anything related to supply that makes you think that market will not rebalance by the end of the year? Thank you.
Well, as I mentioned to some of you in the press in the morning, I think we see a range forecasts in terms of supply and demand. There is no consensus on what demand precisely is going to be. I believe it's going to be healthy, but is it 1.4? Is it 1.6? I think time will tell. In the meantime, supply from outside this group is also a subject of great debate and speculation. There are some that think it will be stronger than what we think. We think it's going to be moderate. So depending on how those supply-demand projections come forward, we will see where we are. But we have to look at those projections that have come out of the IEA, for example, which expects, despite high level of conformity and despite commitment to maintain what we have done in 2017 through 2018, they're predicting a stock build. If that materializes, we have to, of course, not only stay the course for 2018, but we have to consider, rolling it into 2019. If the picture changes, we will adjust accordingly. But we, as they say, hope for the best, but also be prepared to deal with an adverse situation of slow rebalancing. Personally, I think we will be rebalanced by end of 2018. My comment about 2019 is that we've created such momentum of working together. Success speaks for itself. The numbers are good. It's not leading us into complacency. In fact, it's leading us, certainly it's leading me to drive to, permanency of this group, creating a framework that keeps us in communication. My Russian counterpart and I signed a declaration back in August 2016 in China on the sidelines of the G20 meeting of Guangzhou, where we created a framework where the Russian Federation and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will work always together to monitor markets and look at supply-demand fundamentals and coordinate our policy. And if we work bilaterally, we will bring OPEC and non-OPEC with us because we are the leaders of producing countries to ensure that the success since that declaration in China till today is maintained. There will be periods where we don't need to intervene. We don't need to cut production, and I hope that's in 2019. We don't intend to permanently cut. So when I talk about permanency, I mean permanency of the framework, of the cooperation, of having mechanisms to call for meetings between OPEC and non-OPEC and propose solutions to any market imbalances that may emerge after the current one is dealt with.
Amina Energy Intelligence, please.
Thank you. My question to Minister Faleh, you mentioned a framework in 2019. From this point onwards, do you believe that non-OPEC need to be an integral part of any agreement reached? And does that mean that OPEC alone cannot restore balance to the market? Do you need the presence of non-OPEC? And my question to Minister Novak, would Russia be willing to take part in any framework in 2019? We know that you've been facing a lot of pressure from Russian companies complaining that the price might be too high, paying taxes at a high level and so on. So in 2019, would Russia want to take part in whatever framework you decide? Thank you.
We talked about creating a framework that builds on the success of the Declaration of Cooperation that was signed in 2016. Early on, actually, it's not the first time I talk about it, but unfortunately, during my presidency of the OPEC conference in 2017, we did not develop a specific proposal. So this year we have a more able president of OPEC. His Excellency Suhail Mazrouei has just assumed the presidency of the organization, and he and I met in November and we discussed the agenda of 2018, building on the success that has been achieved in 2017. And maybe he will say a few words about how he intends to take that conceptual idea and translating it into a specific framework. Of course, whatever we do in OPEC has to be received and well and accepted by non-OPEC countries, and of course Russia will be the first one we consult with, and then we will be looking to invite more. Today, we started with 11 non-OPEC. One of them has joined OPEC. So we hope more of the 10, having tasted, the benefit of our work, will join OPEC. But if they choose to stay, we need to find a way of, like I said, permanently coordinating with them. And His Excellency Al-Mazrouei, His Excellency Novak, and many others will weigh in. But I think the important thing is to put specific proposals of how this will be done, and I'm sure that will happen in due course.
Если позволите, тоже два слова скажу на ваш вопрос. Знаете, в первую очередь хотелось сказать, что у нас взаимодействие между Россией и странами ОПЕК, оно было на протяжении многих лет. Как вы знаете, у нас существует энергодиалог Россия-ОПЕК, и мы 2 раза в год вместе с господином Баркиндо проводим такое мероприятие. Последний раз это было в июне месяце этого года перед Санкт-Петербургским экономическим форумом, в июне месяце 2007 года.
Well, first of all, let me begin by saying that the cooperation and dialogue between Russia and OPEC is already quite an extensive and long event. I mean, we've been doing this for years. I would like to remind you that the Energy Dialogue, Russia-OPEC, is an event held 2 times a year, and with my colleague and friend, Mr. Barkindo, we've met in St. Petersburg before the JMMC in July of 2017, specifically for this Energy Dialogue.
Что касается совместных действий по координации на рынке, на нефтяных рынках, последний год показал, что этот опыт успешный, он позитивный. Я думаю, что при необходимости он может и в будущем использоваться. Все будет зависеть от целесообразности и необходимости.
And as far as cooperation in terms of stabilizing the market goes, I believe that the experience of the past year has shown this to be a great success and benefiting all the participants of the market, consumer and producer. So looking at the future, I mean, I believe it could be used, but we will have to analyze together with our partners the necessity and the need for such action. So if the need be, it's a mechanism which can be used.
Конечно, любые совместные действия, они когда-то достигают своих результатов, но мы, тем не менее, договаривались или обсуждали сегодня и ранее, что этот формат, хороший взаимодействие стран ОПЕК и не ОПЕК, он может даже и пока после окончания сделки и окончания действия соглашения остаться в качестве консультационного формата. И такие вопросы мы обсуждали между собой.
We all know that all actions, they have a certain goal, and at some point they can be reached and they will be reached. But at the same time, due to the success of the format of cooperation, and we have discussed this many times before in our group and externally, we believe that it can stay in a consultations format or in a different framework, which would benefit all the producers and also help guide the market. So I can say that, once again, we've discussed this topic, and we believe that there is benefit for everyone in continuing dialogues and consultations.
Я думаю, мы с удовольствием будем с какой-то периодичностью, о которой мы договоримся, собираться этим же составом, может быть, и более широким, чем 24 страны, для того, чтобы обсуждать текущую ситуацию на рынках и прогнозы. Это, мне кажется, очень полезно, правильно и хорошо и для наших стран, и для потребителей, потому что это дает возможности нам обмениваться мнениями.
We will gladly continue the cooperation and meeting maybe in this group of 24 countries or maybe a broader group if we see more countries willing to join to discuss the market, to discuss the future and forecasts, because we believe that will be useful for the market, that will be useful for consumers, that will be useful for producers.
I would like just to add one comment on the potential. I think this meeting of the GMMC is a testimony of how well this group is working together. It showed that the confidence level since we started till today have been increasing to the level that we haven't seen in the history. And that, I think, success would lead to changing norms. And we, at least myself, I'm hopeful that we can put together with Mohammed and with the other OPEC members a proposal to all non-OPEC members to consider, which is going to put a framework, hopefully, of how we work together in the future. And I would like to remind you that in the last meeting in November between OPEC and non-OPEC, we had 30 countries. So definitely there are others who are interested to support, but we need to think of what framework do we put. And I am hopeful that this group will always work together whenever there is an issue in the market. Putting a framework around that, I think, is a positive thing. But I would urge you to wait a little bit until we formally put something together, discuss it. In OPEC, every country have their sovereign right to say, to state what they want, whether they want to join that or not. So potential is there, but we need to wait a little bit until we get back to you.
Yes, Samar, please, from the Wall Street Journal.
Hi, my question is for His Excellency, the Saudi Energy Minister. You had mentioned earlier before you got into the meeting that you were rethinking the 5-year average as a goal of reaching the balance to the market. Why, and what are the alternatives that you're looking at the moment? Thank you.
Well, the 5-year average, of course, can be interpreted as in different ways. If you do a rolling 5-year average, then it could be problematic because it is impacted by the excessive inventories over the last 3 years. And therefore, you may be led to believe that you're back to normal levels when in fact you're only hitting an average that is overly weighted by 3 years of excessive inventory. So I think we need to have a technical discussion about what does the market need optimally in terms of inventory. Is it forward day cover of certain multiplier? We have to look at the supply sources today. With the advent of U.S. shale, not only is the geography changing, but also the grades of oil that are coming in have shifted from sweets and sour to more light. I mean, from heavy sour to more light and sweet. So I think we need to dig a little deeper into what are the inventory level by region, by by type of crude, and make sure that the decision we take after we consider that we've achieved our objective is the appropriate decision, and we don't oversupply the market of the wrong type of crudes prematurely. So that will be technical studies done with the OPEC Secretariat and member countries, as well as market consultants, just to make sure that we're not looking at the type of numbers that we are giving you today superficially, but we do a lot more analysis.
And we have the last question from the local media, please. The last question from the local media, please.
Khalid Orabi, AFP. سؤالي في جزئين. الجزء الأول في حوارنا الصباح مع معالي الوزير محمد الرمحي لما تكلمنا عن اجتماع اللجنة قال إحنا مش بصدد نقول ضبط أو تثبيت الأسعار، ولكن بصدد إدارة المخزونات. فإذا ما ربطنا الأسعار بإدارة المخزونات فمتى تتوقعون هذا وما نظرتكم لذلك؟ السؤال الثاني للممثل عن ليبيا، إن إحنا عارفين إنه خلال الفترة الماضية أو الفترة اللي كانت فيها ليبيا في ظروف عرفناها اتأثرت الكوتا أو الحصة بتاعتها. فهل من مناقشة لحصة ليبيا قد إيه هتستمر هتزيد بعد التحسن اللي إحنا شعرنا به في ليبيا والحمد لله؟ في جزئية أخيرة، إنه بعض المحللين اتكلم على إنه ارتفاع الأسعار بالنسبة للنفط حصل لما حصل أو حدث سيطرة على بعض الأماكن اللي كان بيسيطر عليها الجماعة المعروفين داعش وأمثالهم. فهل ترون ذلك؟ شكرا.
Thank you, Excellency. Question is in three parts. The first part, this morning there was a pre-meeting discussion with His Excellency Minister Al-Rumhi of Oman, in which he said that our target is not prices, but to balance the market through looking at inventories. So the question is, if we tie the two elements together, when do we expect a rebalanced market? That's number one. Number two, specifically to the Libyan representative at the table, with the improvements in the situation in Libya and the improving stability in the country, has there been any discussions about setting a production target figure or a quota for Libya? Finally, the third question was related to the recent price increase. My understanding, I'm sorry if I misunderstood the question, but it's related to a lot of issues happening in certain parts of the world, such as Daesh or ISIS, and what is the effect of such organizations on the oil price?
Yeah, if I may just بالعربي ولا بالإنجليزي تبغى نتكلم؟ بالعربي. طيب. أنا ببدأ بالإجابة السؤال الثالث وبعدين لأنه يساعدني على إجابة السؤال الأول. بالفعل الأسعار تتأثر بعوامل ما لها علاقة بالأساسيات اللي نشتغل عليها إحنا كوزراء. إحنا وزراء معنيين في قطاعات النفط في بلدنا وموازنة الإنتاج مع مصالح الدول المنتجة والدول المستهلكة. الأسعار بعض المرات في عوامل أخرى منها المضاربين والأسواق المالية وأسعار صرف العملات وأيضا العوامل الجيوسياسية بما فيها القلاقل الأمنية في بعض الدول وتوقعات تخمينات من محللين في الأسواق المالية أن الدولة الفلانية راح يقل إنتاجها بسبب اضطرابات والقلاقل داخل الدولة. والعوامل هذه ترتفع وتنزل يوميا وبعض المرات بالساعة وبالثواني من عناوين أخبار، حتى مش من الخبر نفسه، من العنوان بعض المضاربين في الأسواق وحتى بعض برامج التعامل يعني الآلية المبرمجة تتعامل مع العناوين هذه وتأثر على الأسعار. احنا كوزراء لا نستطيع أن يعني نحدد إنتاج دولنا حسب العوامل الجيوسياسية هذه. فبالفعل الأسعار مؤخرا تأثرت يعني بعض العوامل الجيوسياسية وما نعمل عليها اتفق تماما مع معالي الدكتور محمد بن حمد الرمحي الوزير العماني أنه ما نتعامل معه هو الأساسيات السوق، العرض والطلب ومستويات المخزون. وهذا الاتفاق يعني وصلنا له بعد مباحثات استمرت فترة طويلة في 2016 وأثبتت 2017 رغم بعض التحديات اللي واجهناها في منتصف العام بما فيها يعني زيادة الإنتاج من بعض الدول نيجيريا وليبيا على سبيل المثال في منتصف العام الماضي أثبتت يعني الأيام أنه بالفعل إذا ركزنا على الأساسيات إن شاء الله بنصل إلى الهدف المرجو. يمكن لو ترجم هذه وبعدين الأخ مصطفى يجاوب عن ليبيا.
Please allow me to start with the third part of your question because that will allow me to then answer the first part. So it's true what you have said, that prices are, of course, not only related to fundamentals, but we as ministers, we focus on the oil business and how we run our countries and governments and our national revenue. The market is definitely influenced by many factors such as speculative activity, geopolitical issues, currency-related issues, and also by certain forecasts by several analysts about specific countries and what happens there. There are even forecasts that are issued on daily and even on an hourly basis, and even some of the headlines can move the price, as you all know. And we have what you call the CTAs that move on specific headlines, as we all know. Again, as ministers, we can't fix or put plans on our production due to such factors that I've just described. Again, I repeat, you're right, geopolitical issues is one of the main things that moves prices. And I also fully agree with His Excellency Minister Al-Rumhi when he said that we should look at, or we do look at supply-demand fundamentals such as stocks, forward day cover, and supply-demand balances is really what we should focus on. Again, I want to reiterate that this agreement, which we reached in the end of 2016, has been very successful despite some of the hurdles we saw in the middle of the year, last year, issues related maybe to Libya and Nigeria. But again, time has proven that when we stay focused on the fundamentals, we are really achieving our objective and moving in the right direction to rebalancing the market.
أعتقد الأستاذ وزير النفط السعودي أوضح الإجابة يعني غطى الإجابة يعني ليبيا لا زالت تعاني من مشاكل زي ما نعرف جميعا والنتاج يعني استقر أخيرا إلى أرقام يعني ما زالت صغيرة ولكن ما زال الوضع في ليبيا يعني تهددها بعض المخاطر يعني.
أنا أعتقد أولا يعني باسم كافة الأعضاء الدول الكل متعاطف ويعني يتمنى ويدعو لليبيا بكل خير أن يعني ربي يعيد الأمن والأمان والوحدة الوطنية داخل ليبيا الشقيقة وأيضا أن يتمكنوا الأخوة وعلى رأسهم الأخ مصطفى من بناء القدرات في قطاع النفط الليبي لأن ليبيا بحاجة إلى يعني دخل كافي لتمويل ميزانيتها وإعادة أعمار وتوحيد مواطنيها. ف يعني هذا هو الأولوية بالنسبة لنا ولكن في نفس الوقت نتحدث مع أخواننا في ليبيا أنه من صالحهم ليس فقط تعظيم عدد البراميل التي تنتج ولكن تعظيم الدخل اللي ليبيا الشقيقة وأن توازن الأسواق العالمية سيعود عليهم بمردود أفضل ومن هذا المنطلق هناك حوار مستمر ومتواصل مع الأخوان في ليبيا سواء في الحكومة أو في الشركة لرسم التوقعات المستقبلية. يعني احنا نقول انه ليبيا ما شاء الله ارتفع انتاجها في 2017 خير وبركة ولكن في 2018 حسب قراءة يعني الدول الأعضاء والحوار مع الشركات اللي تشتغل في ليبيا نعتقد أن المستوى اللي وصلت له في آخر السنة هو المستوى الذي ستستقر عليه الإنتاج خلال 2018 وهذا كما ذكرنا يعني سيكون داعم للأسواق وبالتالي في صالح ليبيا الشقيقة.
First of all, the comment made by His Excellency, the Chairman of National Oil Corporation, Mr. Mustafa San'Allah, clearly that Libya is still suffering with a lot of internal problems, although we've seen some gradual improvement slightly. Nevertheless, the situation is still unstable, and the comments made by His Excellency, Minister Al-Falih, clearly answered the question. The remarks by His Excellency, Minister Al-Falih, of course, everybody around the table wishes Libya and the Libyan people a speedy recovery and improvement in the situation for the benefit of the people and the country. And we wish our dear friend, our brother, Mr. San'Allah, all the success in being able to rebuild the capabilities of the National Oil Corporation and the Libyan oil sector in order to obtain necessary revenue to rebuild the country. This is a priority, but at the same time we also talk with the Libyan officials about the benefits coming not only from increased production but also from higher oil prices. So we have a constant consultation and dialogue with our Libyan brothers for the future. Our predictions are that Libya's production has gone up in 2017, and that's great for Libya. And we believe that in 2018, through our consultations with the Libyan oil executives and other companies operating within Libya, we believe that production will be more or less stable at the levels reached at the end of 2017. And this is, of course, going to support the oil market.
Thank you very much for attending this. I would like also to thank their excellencies for holding this press conference. Thank you very much.